This episode is about Revillagigedo. It's the largest marine protected area in Mexico, and we were visiting the two largest islands, San Benedicto and the world famous Socorro Island. You can have some amazing wildlife encounters with sharks. There's Galapagos sharks, there's hammerhead sharks, there's also silky sharks in the area. You get to see manta rays, there's dolphins in the water, and the right time of the year, you even get to see whales. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let's roll the intro. Our trip to Revillagigedo needed a lot of preparation as we wanted to sail my boat SV Oceans into the national park to do the filming. My friend Dominic worked together with the park authorities and the Orca Group, which is a team of local scientists, environmentalists and filmmakers dedicated to marine conservation. The authorities were kind enough to grant us the permit, and I set sails with some of the members of the Orca Group heading for the national park. With me on the trip were Frida, Alexa, Dani, and Elena. After a 2-day sail from the Mexican Peninsula, we arrived at our first destination and the real adventure began. Our first destination was San Benedicto, which is an uninhabited volcanic island that had its last volcanic eruption in 1953, when new landmass was formed as well as some new underwater ridges. San Benedicto's highest point is on the main crater. It is about 330 meters above sea level, and the island has a landmass area of about 10 square kilometers. There's a really breathtaking scenery on display. Our first dive brought us to a dive site in the south of the island called the Canyon, just a few minutes away from our anchorage. At a depth of around 30 meters, there is a cleaning station where sharks and manta rays often visit to get a thorough cleanup by the local wrestlers. Scientists have planted a hydrophone to record the activities around the cleaning station. There are mainly 4 different shark species present: Galapagos sharks, silky sharks, hammerhead sharks, and quite a few silver-tip sharks. I give the cleaning station a try and park myself right next to the wrestlers, which slightly confuses the sharks as they can't work out what strange thing I am. Am I a predator or am I prey? Against the unfortunate public belief that sharks are dangerous and attack unprovoked, sharks are actually afraid to get harmed and don't take any chances if they encounter something of equal size in the water. The slightest injury could mean certain death to the sharks, and they know it. ridge of the canyon, suddenly I see a hammerhead approaching and leaving the scene again quickly. As those types of sharks are usually together in groups, I decide to follow him, and after a short swim there's my payoff. I find the rest of his friends. Socorro is the largest of the islands in the Revillagigedo National Park. It has an area of about 130 square kilometers, which is around 51 square miles. We chose to go on anchor on a beautiful spot on the east side of Socorro Island, very close to the famous Cabo Pierce dive site. We were hoping to encounter some of the pelagic species that frequent this dive site. Let's find out together what we got to see. Just a few minutes into our dive, we were greeted by a pod of curious dolphins. Located at the eastern tip of the underwater ridge, there is a plaque that was placed there by the national park. Just a little further away from the plaque, we arrive at the local cleaning station where two young adult female manta rays were hanging around. Those largest members of the Mobula ray family are on the endangered species list, and the entire rest of this branch of rays are joined on the vulnerable species list. Unfortunately, their gill rakers have only recently made it into the list of Chinese traditional medicine. As usual, the medicinal effect is highly questionable, fraught with pseudoscience, and there is no proof that it has any healing effect whatsoever. Even if there was any proof for medicinal value, it would be wrong to slaughter manta rays. They are highly intelligent animals with by far the largest brain size of any fish. They even passed the mirror test, which means they recognize themselves and are self-aware, sentient beings much like you and I. The very problem is that the high demand in Asia has caused a very rapid decline worldwide from overfishing within just a few decades. A cautious estimate suggests that there are only about 1,000 oceanic manta rays left in the world. Furthermore, the problem is that they gather in very few spots in our oceans, and the majority of these sites are not protected. These large plankton-eating fish consume a lot of plankton and produce a lot of fecal matter that helps with algae growth. The algae in our oceans is a carbon sink that helps us lowering our excessive CO2 production, and yet we do very little to protect our remaining manta rays. It is time to act before we lose these graceful animals to a completely made-up belief system that only serves a few greedy, heartless, rich people to become even richer. But let's get back to our main story and the amazing encounter that is about to happen. One of the two manta rays really takes a shine to me and curiously approaches to investigate if the feeling is mutual. On the first pass, she already tries to pull me along with a large pectoral fin, but I'm not that easy to get on a first date. On the second flyby, I have to push myself off to avoid a friendly nudge from her. I can sense her joy and excitement, and when she decides to get close to me for the third time, I play along and duck below her. Now swimming underneath, I get to film everything from her perspective. I think she likes the feeling of the bubbles that I release from my diving regulator on her underside as she inches closer to me. She finally gives me a big hug with her massive pectoral fins before we part again, and it is time to say goodbye. This is definitely now part of my top 10 underwater wildlife encounters, a truly unforgettable moment with a new friend. I really hope she's not going to end up on an Asian market and she stays in the safety of the marine protected area, the safety that Mexico grants her and the rest of her kind. Back topside, I decide to fly my drone. Barely in the air, we hear whales blowing, and we knew some had just entered the bay. Even though I have Danny as my spotter, it is quite hard to locate the position of the whales as they typically only come up to the surface to breathe once in every 8 minutes. But then there it is, a suspiciously large shadow that comes into the frame of my drone. A small calf comes up to breathe. Underneath the calf we can see a shadow growing larger and larger, and finally the calf's mother breaks the surface with a massive blow of water. What a day to be out here in Socorro. Join us in our next Oceans Project episode after we made the crossing from Mexico into French Polynesia. We went to Facaraba, where we filmed the vast amount of local sharks in this incredible paradise of the Tuamotu Islands. A special thanks also to our friend Dominic Gayson, who made all of this possible. Our platform relies on the support of good people like you. If you feel that we are doing the right thing and you like what we do, then please subscribe to our YouTube channel, click the like button and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any of our episodes. There's also the share option just below this video, where you can help us to spread our episodes to your friends and colleagues, which would help us a great deal. Please also leave your comment below and let us know what you think. We value your opinion and we will listen to what you have to say. If you want to make a really big difference and keep the Oceans Project going, we would welcome your ongoing support as one of our patrons. The link to our Patreon is in the description below. As a Patreon member, you will be able to suggest new projects, and all members can vote on the topics and projects they would like to see us doing in the future. You can also follow us live through our Garmin InReach satellite system. Become a member of the Oceans Project and help us to make the world a better place. Together we can make a real difference. for watching, and we hope to see you back here on our channel soon.